Hi, I'm Neeraj Juneja. I'm an executive and team coach with over 2 decades of experience, having worked with 4 multinational organizations like Boston Consulting, American Express, NatWest Group, and Axis Bank Limited. And in these 20 years, I've done variety of roles. I worked with operations, sales support, product management, risk and compliance, and coaching, which is my passion. And I've started my new podcast. The theme for my podcast is senior leaders who come from humble beginnings and have achieved remarkable success in their careers and life. Hi, and welcome to the NJ podcast. So, my guest today is my friend and colleague Kapil Joly, who's based in Gurugram, India. Before I hand over the mic to Kapil, I would like to clarify that whatever thoughts he would be sharing on this podcast today should be considered his own and in no way should be connected to the organization he works for. So, Kapil, over to you. If there's anything else you would like to share with our audience or listeners before we begin, please feel free to do so. Welcome to the podcast and thank you for being our first guest on this podcast today.
It's my pleasure, Neeraj. Happy to be here on the podcast.
Thank you. So, my first question to you is, could you share a little about your background, where you were born, your educational journey, and how have these career experiences shaped your professional career so far?
I was born in Shimla.
Okay.
It's a small town, and I went to a school by the name St. Edward's.
All right.
And post St. Edward's, I did my graduation from Himachal University. I think it was very key to the school that I went to because it gave me an opportunity to open up, be the person who I am today. And most important in our industry today, communication is the key.
Yeah.
So that was my basis where I was able to build up my communication. So that's served me really well throughout my career so far.
All right, great. So how have these career experiences shaped you, the kind of leader you are today, and how you manage your people?
I believe when you come from a small town, you have to make an effort to fit into the bigger cities that you come and work with. Initially, it's a little difficult. You are within yourself. You don't understand the environment around you. So there was always an effort, but I had good friends and mentors around me who helped me gel into the crowd here. Over a period of time, I became comfortable with the environment that I was in. And I'm somebody who likes interacting with people. So every person that I interacted with or met with gave me some learning. And over the years, the different organizations that I've had an opportunity to work with, in every organization, something or the other I learned, which continued to help me bridge my career.
Right. And I remember your LinkedIn post. It was about a principle that you hold close to your heart, that you wouldn't ask your people to do something which you wouldn't do yourself. So I'm curious to know what, inspired you to write that post and why was it received so well by people?
I believe what inspired me is some of the great leaders that I've worked with in the past. Some of the leaders have always told me one thing: there's nothing beneath you. Anything, any individual, any activity that gives you new learning, you should always take that. And one important aspect that they coached me on is that if you want to be respected by your team, be with them always. You should not be a hands-off leader, but a hands-on leader. And also a leader who's visible and around your people all the time. I've been given feedback from time to time saying you're very accessible. And I think I choose to be accessible because when you are accessible to your people, if they have something on their mind which they're not able to share with anybody around you, they walk up to you and they share it with you. And that also helps you manage your teams better. And the trust and the safe space that you build with them really, shapes up the day-to-day that you do within your organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen you when we worked together, in the past.
Yeah.
So I see all of your team members were quite comfortable, connecting with you, sharing with you how they were feeling, which is a great trait and what is needed by our leaders in today's world, right? And I have also seen that you've switched organizations in last, I think, more than 2 decades of your career. And NAB being your 5th organization.
Yeah.
So how have these career transitions helped you where you are today?
I think every career transition gives you new learning, as I said initially. So when I moved into the industry from initially being a techie to something, a new organization which was This is 2000, 2001. I'm talking about GCCs were just starting to get set up in India.
Yeah.
GE Capital was a big name.
Yes.
And I started with them. The learning that they provide you shapes you up for senior leaders. If you look around us today, in most of the organizations, people who are sitting at the helm or in the mid-level or senior level are people who some point in time worked with GE.
Exactly.
And GE, I would say, was an organization which would make you ready for the future. They would invest in you by coaching you on Six Sigma, coaching you on leadership skills, helping you understand, why change is good for every individual. So that was my first organization. Then I moved on to another organization by the name Converges, wherein I was helping them set up a back office here in India for a certain bank. And that gave me an exposure of, when you have nothing and from scratch, when you're building a new team, what are the different aspects that you need to keep in mind? So it's not just about leading people,
Exactly.
but it is about, putting on that entrepreneur hat and being somebody who's owning their own business. And how do you set up the whole business from scratch, right? And then eventually, almost over a decade with Bank of America, wherein they gave me the opportunity to lead global teams. So initially across different cities, eventually across the globe, where I had at a certain point in time teams working for me apart from India, apart from the Philippines, from Mexico. So all of that built me up as a leader. It gave me an opportunity to understand how different cultures work, how different people from different countries are, and what is the kind of investment you have to make in them.
Absolutely.
To bring them together on a team, on the table, very different thought process, very different ideas. And as a leader, it becomes even more important to listen in carefully, because if you're not listening to your people, then you may be taking decisions which are not good for the health of the business and for the people as such.
True.
Always important to give that comfort to your people that my leader's listening into me.
Absolutely.
And then eventually, where we worked together, our previous organization, Actvest, right?
Yeah.
That is an organization which told me that, being a people leader is great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is important to be a business leader. So understanding your business really well grooms you as a future banker.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it helped me understand that suddenly I was in an environment where I was dealing with Gen Z managers. And when dealing with Gen Z managers, it's very different from the managers I managed earlier. Gen Z needs clear direction.
Yeah.
They want you to be transparent. They want to make sure that when you're sharing something with them, you're not hiding any bit of it, because the more you share with them, the more you enable them. And as you enable them, they're able to contribute and perform to the best of their abilities.
True, Kapil.
And now in NAB, where again I'm setting up a new business, right? I think there's a lot of learning, and it's a different geography. I've supported Australia in the past, but that was for a small part. But here, the thought process or the exposure, and how do you make sure that, as you're setting up different businesses, you're catering to each individual need. You are building trust and confidence, not just with your people, but also with your stakeholders.
Yeah.
So hiring right is the key.
Excellent.
It is important to be transparent at every step so that the trust continues to build. And then as you're bringing in business, imbibing that culture which tells your people that you're not just managing a file or an account, you're managing a real customer is the key. I think so. It's been very varied over the years, but all of this has helped me become who I am today.
That's great to hear, Kapil. Thank you. And there is one more post I remember, which was about coaching, which is my passion and your passion as well, right?
Yeah.
And you said coaching and directing are not opposites, they are tools. Could you elaborate this perspective? I mean...
Absolutely. And this is a question a lot of people have asked me earlier as well. A lot of times leaders feel that, when you're coaching, you cannot direct a person. But there's something called a situational leadership.
Yeah.
And I believe, a situational leadership is what you need to keep in mind, that in that very moment, do you need to coach the person? Because if you're coaching the person, you're setting them up for success for the future.
Yeah.
And you're trying to enable them with the tools that would require them to be successful. But on the other hand, when you're meeting a critical timeline or a critical target, then directing is important as well. So they both go hand in hand. It depends upon the situation you're dealing with. If it is a critical task to be delivered, you cannot sit and coach.
Exactly.
Because you may end up not meeting your timeline.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you have time on something and you're grooming an individual to be a future leader, then coaching is a key aspect that you need to bring in every time you're interacting with them. You need to help them understand, where they failed, how can they learn from their failures, what are some of the different things or skills that they would need to build or develop themselves on so that they're successful.
Excellent. I think what I'm hearing is you're right. I think we should be aware as leaders that what hat we need to wear in which situation.
Absolutely.
Because some situation may require you to coach your people,
Yeah.
and some may require you to direct your people.
Absolutely.
I'm wearing the hat of a manager.
Yeah.
So self-awareness is the key,
Absolutely.
as a leader today, right?
Very important. I think I feel Gen Z is very self-aware.
Yeah.
They know what they want. Sometimes that makes you difficult to manage them. But then again, if you are bringing them, into the conversation, enabling them, treating them as an equal, then the outcome or the output you get is even better.
Absolutely. Empowerment is the key today, right?
Absolutely.
With our Gen Z and new...
It is. And micromanaging does not help you at all because, that needs a lot of time, bandwidth. And
Absolutely.
as we continue to grow the GCC sector in India, I think time is a luxury that not a lot of us have. So you need to build strong leadership under you so that then they're able to take it forward from there.
Absolutely, Kapil. And I remember my own time when I started my journey about 2 decades ago. I mean, our manager used to tell us what to do.
Yeah.
But now is the time when you need to ask people. So telling versus asking is very important. And when we say asking, and that to asking open-ended questions so that people can come up with ideas. And when they share those ideas, there is much more commitment and accountability into those things.
I think a great example of are you listening to listen or are you listening to understand?
Yes.
A lot of times the teams around you are able to quickly gauge whether you're really listening to understand. Are you just listening because they want to say it?
Yeah, absolutely. Very powerful, Kapil. So what is that one advice you would like to share with our listeners, from today?
I think one important advice if you have to be successful in this industry is one, when we started, technology was just picking up, right?
Yeah.
I remember in some organizations, I was helping them understand how technology can enable them to an organization where I was helping them transform, and to my current organization wherein probably as we start to do more work, we will have to take it to the next level. But most important for anybody is that as you're moving through these career years, one, are you open to change? Right?
Very important.
If you're not open to change, if you're not open to learning new things, then there's only a certain level that you can go up to. But on the other hand, if you're open to change, if you're open to learning, then sky is the limit. A lot of people talk about, will these jobs stay in the long run? And my answer is yes, if you are open to change. And then how do you, while you're, adapting to this change, how do you maneuver the chaos that comes along with it?
Exactly.
Because a lot of times the change and chaos is coming together.
Exactly.
And you get bogged down about it.
Yeah.
Or do you really continue to outshine what's coming and preempt what's going to be the next step so that, you're not getting perturbed about it on what's happening around you, but at the same time, you're focusing on how can I make myself successful?
Absolutely.
So just be open to change.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Kapil. So one key learning that I want to share from today's conversation is small starts don't limit big futures. If this resonated with you, please do not hesitate to share with people who can also benefit from this conversation. And do not forget to follow my podcast channel. And you continue to hear conversations like these with leaders whom I will be inviting in my future podcasts. So thanks once again, Kapil, for accepting my invitation and sharing your story with us today. And to our listeners, thank you for giving us your time. Please continue moving forward, continue believing in what's possible, and I'll see you in my next podcast. Wishing you and your loved ones a very, very happy new year. And I look forward to hearing your reflections from our conversation today. Thank you. Thanks, Kapil.
Thank you.